If you'd like to listen to this in a still position, you can just take your time arriving and allow yourself to move and fidget as much as you need to, maybe doing some torso twists, some side body bends, some neck rolls, some cat-cows in the spine. Just letting your spine, neck, shoulders move however they want to move. And not thinking about what it looks like at all. Just letting yourself check in with your body, allowing your body to be the guide of your movements. And starting to activate or notice, I guess, your breath as you do so. And no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move for as long as you'd like to. But if at any point you are feeling ready to come to a still position, you can let yourself do so with a straight spine. If you're in a space where you feel safe to do so, and if you haven't already, you can let your eyes gently close whenever. And just mark your arrival to this practice today with a full and deep cleansing breath. A long, slow, intentional in through the nose, letting yourself fill up fully to every corner and edge. Holding that breath for just a moment at the top and just feeling that fullness. And as you need to, letting it go slowly. Exhaling bit by bit. Letting that last bit of air just push out of you as you just pause to feel that emptiness. As your next breath comes as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe just like this for a few more rounds if it feels good. Just exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. Your inhale, the pause at the top of your inhale, the exhale, and the pause at the bottom of the exhale. And whenever you are ready, you can release this guidance of your breath altogether. And let yourself step back into the role of the observer or the witness. And simply witnessing your body breathing. Just as you would the waves rolling up on the shoreline. Watching it come and go. Noticing your physical posture, the shape that your body is in. Any areas of tension that are immediately grabbing your attention. Maybe in the shoulders, in the neck, maybe in the hips, maybe in the face. And just bringing your awareness about a few inches above the crown of your head. And just noticing this space that exists right above you. And just imagining that there is a silk sheet that is just being dropped down from the sky above you, coming closer and closer to you. And feeling it as it's about a few inches above your head. And welcoming it into your space, welcoming it over your body. letting it drape down over your head, down the shoulders, down the arms, down the back, the stomach, the legs, and feeling the sense of safety and security as this thin sheet just hugs you. Naturally hugging every curve in your body. There's this warm and comforting layer of protection, this little cocoon. And under this little layer of protection, just bring your awareness to your collarbones and to your shoulders and this whole shape that your upper back is in. And maybe it's naturally curving, kind of creating a cave around your heart. Maybe your shoulders are coming forward, your heart's curling back. Maybe not, maybe it's something different. But regardless, just starting to feel the collarbones get a little bit broader. Allow your heart to walk forward slightly so it comes in line with your upper arms. And it sits in this proud position in your body. Just letting your heart breathe. And letting your shoulders soften beneath this support of your heart. So you just remember the amount of work your heart is always doing for you. And letting the rest of your body feel safe with your heart. Feeling the back of your neck elongate slightly. And just clearing that path a little bit from your heart through your neck and throat, into the skull, into the brain stem, and into the brain, into your mind. Just tracing that connection between your heart and your head. And just seeing that space, seeing the distance, that direct line of connection from your brain through the rest of the skull, down into the throat, and into your heart. Remembering this physical as well as energetic connection between your heart and your head, and that they are always communicating with one another. And then letting yourself trace the body down even further and come from the space in your heart through the lungs and the rib cage into your stomach, into your gut. Maybe feeling a sort of heartbeat in this area as well. Where your gut feelings reside. And feeling that innate connection between the head, the heart, and the gut. These main energy centers within you. That whether you are aware of them or not, are constantly working for you. Everything that they do is in support of you. And just taking a moment to recognize that truth. Recognize the reality of how lucky you truly are to be in this body that works, to be in this body that is keeping you alive, even if there are some issues with this body, if there is pain within this body. Just remembering that you are alive. You have the ability to hear the words I am saying and to feel whatever it is that you feel. And your body is working perfectly in order to do those things. I'm just sending a deep sense of gratitude and thanks to your body. We can often put so much pressure on ourselves to heal and to feel good, to not be in pain. Just taking this moment now to acknowledge the things that your body is doing correctly. To acknowledge the miracle that it actually is. That your heart is continuing to beat for you. And your heart has beated for you from the time you were in your mother's womb and will keep going until your last breath here. And just stepping into that reality. We can live in so many different worlds in our own minds and in the groups that we are in, so many different realities. So stepping into your own personal reality that consists of you and your body, your mind, your heart, your stomach, every little bit of you. Remembering that you are your own best teacher, and that there are things that nobody else will be able to tell you, that your body can tell you, and that you already know all of the things you need to know. So I'm going to read now from Yung Pueblo's email list. Continue to observe yourself, your body, your mind, and heart, and allow whatever words really resonate with you to absorb in deeper. Three thoughts. The real masterclass is observing your own mind so that your emotional history no longer stunts your relationships or life goals. You can learn a lot from other people, but revolutionary internal change comes from building your self-awareness to the point where it becomes easier to make good decisions that make your present and future brighter. Allow yourself to be inspired by others, but remember that the deepest transformations occur when you become more familiar with the patterns that impact your behavior. Too often, we get stuck listening to the stories of other people in the hope of it effortlessly changing ourselves, when what would truly serve us best is tuning our attention inward. If you want to heal the dynamic between you and yourself, then you need to have the courage to explore the conditioning that shapes your perception. Whenever you find yourself thinking that another person has all the answers and validation you are looking for, you are actually devaluing your power. Love, freedom, and wisdom are seeds that sprout from within. Remind yourself of this truth whenever your ego tries to tell you otherwise. There is nothing wrong with having a teacher and making time for learning. But at the end of the day, your healing and maturity is elevated by building the type of self-awareness that helps you internalize these lessons and change your actions. The phrase, "not doing the work," has become a vague way to put people down. What the work means could vary widely depending on who you talk to. No one has a monopoly on how this phrase is actually defined. Since there is no unity on what the work refers to, it becomes quite easy to develop your own measurement system that is then unfairly projected onto others. If a person does not do things the way you like them to be done, then the ego can easily jump in and perceive them negatively. The ego has this insidious way of weaponizing something as good as personal development. It is always trying to rank what it sees and place it into a hierarchy. Ego is at work when you are reveling in condescending thoughts about another person. It is critical to remember that your ego wants other people to think and act just like you. Ego is known for its inflexibility and lack of appreciation of differences in views and opinions. The ego likes to hold its views as primary and all else as unpleasant and inferior. One way to combat the ego and its craving for hierarchy is to cultivate compassion. The mind is a series of patterns, and every action that we unconsciously or intentionally make impacts those patterns. If we find our mind rolling in illogical and unnecessary negativity about another person, we can aim our attention into compassion and reframe the way we are examining the situation. And embracing the ups and downs of relationships is one of the best ways to build harmony. Our attachment to fun, excitement, and perfection can lead us into the unreasonable idea that a relationship should be continuously pleasant. The reality is that human beings cannot constantly sustain such high energy levels. If we tried to, we would either fall into performative and untruthful behavior, or we would burn out and crash. Like the seasons, we also go through phases, and this directly impacts how we show up. Especially when a relationship is open to growth, there may be times where one of you is moving through and unloading hurt and trauma, or in need of slowing down, period, or proper integration of new wisdom. Or in need of a slowing down period for proper integration of new wisdom. When two people can appreciate that moods vary and calmly communicate the reality of the moment they are in, it becomes easier to step up for each other and provide loving support. There is an element of selflessness in relationships that actually supports the union in becoming more vibrant and gives both people the sensation of fulfillment. The key part is taking turns in the giving and receiving of support so that both feel heard, nourished, and properly loved. And just taking a moment to allow all of those words to settle. Letting anything that you heard today that resonated with you just soak in deeper to you, so that you feel a bit more confidence to act on these truths. Noticing any expression that might be on your face, and just letting it melt away as the jaw softens, the forehead and the eyes. As your attention comes back to your heart, and just feeling this truth that is beating inside of you. Maybe feeling the pulsing of both of your hands. And if it feels like something you'd like to do, you can just let the pulse of both hands be drawn toward each other as your palms find each other, your fingers find each other, and your hand comes to a prayer position at heart center. And just letting your heart lift toward your thumbs and your thumbs press back towards your heart. As you take a deep breath into the body, just letting yourself fill up with this fresh new air. And as you exhale, letting go of anything that no longer serves you as you let your head gently bow. And just bowing to the source of energy that is allowing your heart to beat, whatever you believe that to be. Bowing to the constant source of guidance and inspiration all around you, whatever that means to you. Bowing to everyone in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights, and may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and everyone that you see.